I don't typically do the episode description preview videos. Base Digimon does such a good job discussing them on YouTube already, and With the Will has these great forum threads about them, but this last batch of episode descriptions spanning episode 48 to 51 are so incredibly significant that I kind of have no choice but to discuss these. So it goes without saying there will be spoilers in this video. I'll give you a 5-second countdown and then it's all gas no brakes to spoiler town. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Remember how we were complaining about the pacing and the plot being slow or us wanting something significant to happen? Well, apparently in 2 weeks time, when episode 48 arrives on May 16th, we are going to be kicking off basically a 4-part Endgame style confrontation with Millenniummon, full of huge callbacks, these crushing losses on our side, and new evolutions, and a very big cliffhanger. It's looking like episode 51 could either be the early finale to the series or some kind of pause before the show comes back for 15 more episodes to round out that 66 episode count that we've been citing this whole time, or it's ending and it's setting up a season 2. So let me just tell you the episode descriptions already. I'm gonna read them out loud back to back to back. I think it'll just be easier that way, and then we can discuss the whole thing as a package deal afterwards. Episode 48, Mugendramon's attack. Taichi and Ko reach Faga only to encounter the vicious ultimate level Mugendramon. It absorbs Piyomon, Palmon, and Gomamon's data, rendering them unable to battle. Meanwhile, Taichi receives a message from Leomon, who is far away traveling on Eldoradimon while housing the refugee Digimon. Something odd is happening. Cloud Continent is falling. It isn't long before even Metal Garurumon's data is absorbed and he is unable to fight. Mugendramon directs its full power Mugen cannon at the children and Digimon to give the final blow. Taichi and Wargreymon risk their own lives to protect everyone by charging at Mugendramon. ... Episode 49, The Evil God Descends, Millenniummon. Yamato, Sora, and Koshiro try to stop Millenniummon from reviving, but Griffomon attacks Metal Garurumon and it goes beyond their control. While Taichi's sister Hikari is stricken with despair, Mimi tries to console her, but even Mimi's grief at losing Taichi is huge. Episode 50, Finale, the Ultimate Holy War. Amidst Millenniummon's fury, Hikari and the other chosen children don't know whether Taichi and Wargreymon are dead or alive, but they choose to believe that they are still alive and fight. As the digital world is about to be surrounded in darkness, all Digimon send up their prayers for peace, awakening an evolution to ultimate that no one had predicted. Episode 51, The Mystery Hidden in the Crests. The children overcome their final battle with Millenniummon when they receive a message from Garbamon telling them that he found something that looks exactly like the crests that shows up on the Digivice at a place called the Tree of Information. The children hurry there, where they reunite with Garbamon and meet Wisemon, who collects information on the digital world. There they find a secret room that's engraved with the 8 crests, and we learn of even further duties that the chosen children bear. Okay, so where to begin? What I like and what I hope to see next. Episode 48, this is the beginning of the end. Okay, so this episode we're almost definitely seeing that Chimeramon form of Millenniummon, right? Episode 48 lists Mugendramon appearing, and it sounds like there will be a showdown between Wargreymon and Mugendramon. Seeing as we know Agumon once went berserk and turned into a burning red version of Mugendramon, this should be a really great character moment, seeing Taichi and Agumon confront Agumon's past, so to speak. But the fact that we'll have Mugendramon plus Chimeramon based on the shenanigans Seraphimon is up to, collecting the data of the strongest Digimon like we saw in episode 46 and formatting it all into one vessel, we now have all the ingredients for Millenniummon's chimera-looking main form. It's also sounding like Taichi and Agumon might sacrifice themselves in episode 48 or be absorbed or something of this nature. I'm getting real Try Movie 6 vibes from this, which I don't mind. It's always cool for me seeing the writers of the show take story elements from farther in the original timeline and plopping them into earlier stages of these kids' journeys, like how we had the Our Wargame event kick off this series instead of being a year after the original adventure from 1999 series. Episode 49, this is the Empire Strikes Back, darkest before the dawn moment for sure. Taichi is going to be gone, Millenniummon is here, it sounds like we lost. Kari's also dipping into darkness, and there's so many ways to interpret this line about being, quote, surrounded in darkness. There's obviously things like the Dark Ocean from 02, but I also wonder if Lady Devimon could be a thing here. I mean, we have canon confirmation that Devimon was born from Angemon falling to darkness, so maybe Kari's grief alters Tailmon/Anguamon and results in Anguamon turning into Lady Devimon, at least for a bit. Episode 50 seems like a real part 2 to episode 49. I think that wait between episodes is going to be really brutal, waiting the whole week. It sounds like Kari breaks out of her grief with the kids choosing to fight on without Taichi by their side, and then we apparently get the awakening of an evolution that no one had predicted. My money is on Ophanimon, but it's so tough to say because we also know Holy Dramon/Magnadramon plays a role in this series. We know Seraphimon plays a role. We saw Godramon in that tiny corner of that one poster, but we also have to acknowledge the other kids have not gotten their megas yet, so even though it's my worst fear, there is still a possibility that every kid gets their megas all in this one episode, and that could happen. Again, I truly hope this isn't the case, and I don't think it will be based on the next episode description. Episode 51, we quote, overcome the final battle with Millenniummon. I saw some people on the forums and Twitter kind of saying, are you kidding? They're done already with Millenniummon, but I doubt it's truly over here. I think maybe we narrowly escape, or we think we win, but we've just beaten the original physical form, that Chimera plus Mugendramon form, and now the Moon Millenniummon or the Zed Millennium forms are still around to challenge us in the near future. Garbamon contacts the kids saying that he found something that looks like the crests on their Digivice. This should be a huge deal for fans who have been saying it's kind of a bummer that the crests aren't a real physical item in this series. The last bit of info we get is that they find a secret room that's engraved with 8 crests, and they learn of the even further duties that the chosen children bear, ... So I think it's safe to say that episode 51 is not going to be the end of the Digimon 2020 story, but it might be some kind of season finale break. We were originally operating with the knowledge that 66 episodes were being made for this series, and that is still what Toei Animation Europe says on their website. You could say that maybe that site is outdated, and I definitely thought about that too, but what's funny is the site has been updated at some point, because it used to say Digimon Survive coming January 2021, and now it just says Digimon Survive exists, which is its own topic. I digress. But anyways, they updated the site and they've still committed to saying 66 episodes. My guess is that we are still doing 66 episodes, and that, yeah, this is truly the Act 2 lowest point of the hero's journey kind of moment, not the finale. We get our butts kicked here, we lose Tai and Agumon, then in episode 50 we get a miracle and basically narrowly escape defeat, and then we have 15 more episodes to find Taichi, to use the newly found crests, and maybe the vital bracelet even, to reach Mega. Hopefully each kid's Mega debut gets their own episode and it doesn't all happen in one episode, and then we reunite with Tai to defeat Millenniummon's new form. I was really blown away when I read that Garbamon had a role to play in these episodes. I know that sounds like the smallest possible detail from all the info we got, but I think when the series wraps, we'll be able to look back and recognize that we didn't give the writers enough credit week to week, and that they did know what was going on the whole time, or at least they had a pretty clear roadmap. Time and time again, they have tried to show that these character episodes, these ones with one-off characters that some consider to be filler episodes, they really shape the kids, and beyond shaping them, it looks like many of these characters have come back, or they are coming back, like Mugendramon being back, like Devimon being back in episode 46. When the show is airing, it's easy to say it doesn't make sense, but I think when it's all finished, even if it's not perfect, we'll have a lot more respect for the plot line as a complete picture. The other thing I would really love to see for episodes 52 to 65, if those episodes exist, I want them to take place largely in the human world. I feel like every good Digimon story needs a digital world and a real world segment. At the start of the series, we had a lot more of Tokyo and the real world, but it feels like we kind of dropped that plot point. But since I just finished saying the show is proving with characters like Garbamon that they are going to be doing callbacks and closing the loop on certain characters and plot points, I think we still could go back to the real world for the finale. Maybe Millenniummon decides to conquer the human world since he lost to the chosen children in the digital world, and we spend some time trying to get back to the real world. I think right now, technically, the kids don't even have an ability to travel back to the real world, even if they wanted to. I think that's all I've got to say at this point. I'm not worried that the show is going too fast if we get more episodes, if we do stick to that 66 episode run. If in the next couple weeks they come out and announce that episode 51 is the series finale, I'll have to come back here and make another video, because that will truly change everything. But I don't think the show is ending on episode 51. But I will admit, my heart stopped when I read these episode descriptions, and my first thought was episode 51 was the series finale and that they were cutting it early. Anyways, regardless of if my interpretation of the episode descriptions and my predictions for what's next are accurate or are totally off, it's going to be a really exciting few weeks and maybe a few months if all goes well. Episode 47 looks to be slightly more tame, at least in comparison to what we know about episode 48, but I could definitely see it having some cool calm before the storm foreshadowing moments for foreshadowing everything that's about to happen. As always, let me know what you thought about these titles and about where the story is going. Do you think episode 51 is the end? Do you think it's a season finale and in a few months we get maybe 51 more episodes, or do you think we go straight into episode 52, 53, and all the way up to 66? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching and listening to me ramble for much longer than usual. Hopefully this helped you make sense of the episode descriptions, and hopefully you enjoyed. Until next time, take care, and I will see you in the next video.